I was thinking today, I was like, I'm not a good YouTuber. I was thinking today, I was like, I take everything personally. And you know what? I knew this for a very long time. I've always been a very fragile flower, and that's not a bad thing, okay? I'm allowed to be. I'm allowed to be. I feel like growing up, I was always like, okay, so growing up, I was homeschooled, right? Which means that you're interacting with a lot less people. And I don't want to like forward this narrative of homeschoolers, but I am going to. I am fortunately going to add to the homeschooler stereotypes because I was just, or maybe like, I feel like going to school, you kind of get conditioned to like just things just happen to you and you are just learning to brush them off. And you know what? Maybe other people in my family are like better at brushing it off, or like not all homeschoolers is what I'm trying to say. But it did add to like growing up, I took everything personally. And even more so, I found that as I grow up, it gets easier, right? But I still feel like sometimes I'm like, if a person cuts me off in traffic, or like if someone is like, if I make a mistake while driving, I like will think about it the rest of the day, and it'll take a toll on me because I'm like, oh, like I just hate that this person out there thinks that like I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't live with that. Like that's not me. And it gets easier because I found that like this like mindset of like, oh, like I don't care. I don't care. Like who cares? Like I don't care. I'm just the crap, right? Like that just never helps. For me personally, that has never helped me. Why? Because I think I take everything personally, and I'm like, I'd rather be honest with myself instead of being like this, yeah, I'm so bad, like that's not me. It's not me. I take everything very personally. And there's a strength to that, right? Like you're allowed to be more emotional. You're allowed to be like more emotional and feel things deeply or whatever. But like I take everything personally. I take it all personally, especially like even when I'm at work, like if my boss corrects me on something, I remember it has gotten significantly better. Now I will say it has gotten significantly better. Like I'm way better for it now. But I remember when I was like younger, like it would just like shatter my whole day. Like if I did something wrong at work or like whatever, or if I made a mistake. And that comes from like just acknowledging that like this is like now getting into like trauma territory. That like you can make mistakes, but also like as I grow up, I'm still like, I care very deeply. I care very deeply, and I'm allowed to say that, that I care very deeply, because if I'm just like, I don't care, or like this doesn't matter to me, like no, it all does really matter to me. Obviously it's like it becomes a better strength as I learned how to deal with it better, but still it's like if I don't give myself this space to just feel it out, then I'm literally not gonna be able to recover at all. Which is so silly, right? Because it's so silly that we just take everything so personally. At least for me, I'm speaking from personal experience, by the way. This might not be your life, and that's okay. If you can just handle things and take it out of stride, it's great. But I feel like on the flip side, also, there's a strength to feeling everything so deeply and being so personal about everything, is that like the positives are a lot more positive, Sometimes it's easy to let the negatives I feel like as I become an adult, I feel like it's really just relearning how to be a child and a baby. Or like all these niche sayings, it's like live, laugh, love. It's kind of like, you know what? Maybe there was something there that we forgot. Maybe live, laugh, love is actually like maybe live, laugh, love was the friends we made along the way. But I don't know, I really feel that deeply, that like I feel everything so deeply. I just felt like that the positives of also taking everything so personally is that you see people, like you can see people to their core like a lot more better. I don't know. You can see people a lot more clearly, and that's kind of hard, I guess, to describe. But I feel like with friendships that I've had, and this is such a blessing that like you can kind of like read people better and also just see them like for who they are as a whole, and also you're able to just like, that sounds so stupid saying this, but you're allowed to just see such a bigger picture of who they are than maybe other people in their life have looked at them for, and I feel like that's a big strength. And also, like, you're just able to see their good qualities shine through a lot. Obviously, that also can come with a negative that, like, if they do something towards you, you'll really struggle to forgive. But I feel like in friendships, I've been able to, like, see people a lot more clearly because I take everything so personally. And, like, a friend being close to me, I also take that very personally. That's, like, a really big responsibility, you know? Isn't that kind of crazy to think about? I don't know. Maybe I'm, like, just saying, like, nonsense here, but I do take everything personally. And you know what? I'm not going to lie to myself and be like, I don't care, because I really do. I care about it very deeply. I keep saying things over and over again, but it's definitely been an easier process of learning how to move forward in life with knowing that I just care so deeply, because I don't think that's something that's going to change, you know? I think some things in life don't really get, like, easier to deal with. Like, we just kind of, like, get more, like, it kind of still stays at the same level, but we ourselves have to grow to be able to handle that level of the problem. Am I just saying, like, stupid stuff? I don't know. But I just felt that very deeply to share that. Right. But no, and I think that coming with just that simple acknowledgement can bring so much freedom, because, like, why fight what is, like, literally, like, it's just a fact of life. Like, why? Obviously, there are exceptions. Blah blah blah. There's exceptions for everything. But I'm like, why fight it and just let it be? Like, let that be a part of you. Also know it that it's has its weaknesses, but celebrate the strengths. Does that make sense? I don't know. I just felt to share that very deeply, and I think that you taking things really personally, obviously you'll have to learn how to, like, use that as know when to, like, you'll need to know when to overcome that. And it really has its setbacks, like, no doubt everything does in life, but I think there's also an incredible strength to that. And if you learn how to harness the strength rather than cater to the weakness, like, you can really use it for good. Because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Oh, I still have some more coffee left. Super protein coffee as I go to the gym. I can't even get into it right now, guys. I'm so done. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and just simply acknowledge to yourself. Maybe it could bring you some freedom. Anyways, bye.